Hey, everybody, and welcome to Empower, which is a faith based initiative designed to enlighten, empower, and embolden women of all ages to come into agreement with our God given purpose on this earth. I'm your host, Kim, and I'm so glad you joined me today. If this is your first time, welcome. If you've been here before, we're family now, sis. Let's get right into today's topic, which is normalize this. Now, I see this a lot on social media about normalize, for instance, normalize falling in love in your 40s, normalize never wanting to be married, normalize not wanting to have kids, normalize black love, normalize whatever. And while on the one hand, I can appreciate the sentiment behind wanting something normalized, the other side of me is a little bothered, I guess is a good word, by the demand for normalizing something. And the reason that I say that is because if something is normalized, right, that means society has decided that, or a group of whomever at large has decided that this type of behavior is okay, that this is the way that it should be, that this is what we should expect. And so I understand the need for some things to be normalized, meaning the opposite of whatever this thing is crazy. It's old fashioned. It needs to be done away with. I get that and I understand. But I just want to maybe suggest that don't put the demand out on society to normalize anything. You normalize your normal. One of the things that happened in 2020 was, everyone was like, oh, when are we going back to normal, back to normal, back to normal, back to normal? And then the conversation switched to, we're never going back to normal. Then the conversation went to, well, it's the new normal. Then the conversation was, what is normal? And this is where my problem with wanting something normalized comes in. Because when something becomes normalized, it can be mistreated, it can be disregarded, it can be too staunchly held, it can make a person feel like they're, give them a feeling of self-righteousness because this is a view that they espouse, and so that means it must be right. And if you don't, then you're wrong. Now, there are some things, and I wouldn't think I need to say this, but there are some things that are so obviously wrong. Discrimination, prejudice, violence, domestic violence, harming children, things, okay? There are some things that, yeah, they're wrong. But when things are subjective, when you're the individual who is deciding for your life what works for you, needing it to be normalized can sometimes read as, I need to have approval that it's okay. And what I have discovered in my life for me is that I can't live governed by that, because who's going to normalize it? Who is going to normalize what part of what I do is normal? Who's going to put their stamp of approval on this aspect of me, but not that aspect? And then I can become, for lack of a better word, schizophrenic in my behavior, trying to be this for this person, because for them, this is normal. They're okay with this part of me. And for this person, that doesn't work. So over here, I have to have a new normal, and over here, I have to have a new normal. And then we're never centered within ourselves with our own normal. So this is why I say I am not a fan of the whole normalizing movement to a certain extent. But I believe outside of God that we are our metric for normal. Because at my age, with my experience, with where I live in the world, with what I have to work with, my socioeconomic status, all of the things that make up my world, my individual world, my normal is different from everyone else's. You can take two women the exact same age, exact same number of children, married for the exact same number of years, living in similar and close proximity. You know their normal will be different. So this is what concerns me about this normal thing. To me, it gives too many people too much say. God made me unique. And there are things that he has called me to do. There are skill sets that he gave me. There are talents that I possess. They could work well with others who have similar or opposing talents, but they're uniquely mine because of how I approach them, because of the ideas that he's given me to bring to it. Take this, for instance, Empower. It's an empowerment movement for women and girls. It's about standing in who God has called us to be. It's about recognizing and accepting and agreeing with our identity that God gave us. It's about being strong in that, doing what he has called us to do, showing up in the world how he called us to. There are I don't know how many different groups, books, videos, podcasts about this topic. But none of them, other than this one, have my spin on it. None of them have my stamp on it, because no other one is me, and mine doesn't have anyone else's, because I'm not anyone else. And so while yes, there is some comfort in normalcy and there is some need for it, there can be too much comfort in normalcy. There can be complacency as a result of normalcy. Oh, well, I'm not going to step outside of the box because nobody does that. That was one of the issues that I had even starting this. My aunt, who has since passed away, used to tell me, Nikki, just do it. And I'm like, oh, I'm Prince this, that, and that, and this, and that, and that. And she said, listen. And she was one who, tell her no if you want to. She'll show you. And so she was stirring that part up in me that was there. I didn't realize that it was there in this way, because I can be hard-headed about some stuff. It's not that. But in this instance, taking it and using it as fuel, that was something that I had to come into. But I would never have done it if I stuck to what people had normalized. You see what I'm saying? So hopefully this is making sense, and it's causing you to think about some things that you may have been a little too okay with being normal about. Having, not letting your dream fully be realized even on paper, because that's too big to consider. I come from here. My parents are this person. I don't have this experience. I didn't get a master's in this. I'm not a doctor in that. I haven't even worked in a position with this as my main job, but it's a passion of mine. It's what I do. It's what I feel strongly about. See, normalcy will tell us, well, then you better leave it alone till you're a subject matter expert. Don't be getting up here talking about stuff until you know everything that you can possibly know. I'm not saying be ignorant in the real definition of the word and just go around spouting off like you know everything about something that you know nothing about. But don't, if normal isn't working, if you don't fit normal, which most of us don't fit some kind of normal on one end of a spectrum or another, don't allow that to stop you. Don't wait until something is normal for you to pursue it. You make it normal for you. You make it normal in your group of friends, your community, your church, your family. Make it normal that you go do what you're going to do. Let the normal thing be that we're all going to be who God called us to be. That's something we can get behind. Let that be the normal. That God gave us all something to do. Let's go do it. You do it how it works for you. I do it how it works for me. There will be people who my brand of normal works for them. There'll be people who it doesn't work for, and yours will work instead. I just don't want anyone to be painted into the box of normal to the point where now I don't move unless it's normal. I don't go forward unless it looks like what all of the cookies look the same. Don't pigeonhole yourself. God made you unique. He made you specific to his desire for you. And the people that you need to affect, the people that you need to inspire, encourage, change, they're waiting on you. They're not waiting on normal because that hasn't worked for them. They need to see that somebody will step outside of what society has deemed as normal and thrive and make it work. So that's the episode today. I just want to encourage you not to look so deeply into the normal. Challenge normal. Create your normal. We're all waiting for it. We all need it. We'll all appreciate it eventually. And even if we don't, this is the thing. Even if it doesn't achieve what all you thought it could as quickly as you think it should, or ever. This is where those people who say, man, knowing that I helped one person, it just helped me keep going. It's true. When it's what you're meant to do, yes, you want it to work, and yes, you want it to be huge, and yes, you want to help so many. But take comfort in the fact that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, what God gave you to do, that it's working, that somebody is better for it, and keep going. Because the truth of the matter is, you're better for doing what God called you to do. So, challenge normal. Thanks so much for joining me for today's episode. I'd love to have you join me again next Monday. I do upload episodes every Monday. You can find the previous episodes on Facebook at facebook.com/empower, on Instagram at empowerher540, MPOWHER 540, and on YouTube by typing empower in the search bar. If you enjoyed what you heard, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see y'all next Monday. Bye.